Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review. And today from Mattel, we are featuring the WWE Championship Showdown 2-pack. Featuring Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. And this is Series 10. This style of action figure is not to be confused with Mattel's much more premium elite line of action figures. This falls into their basic / core category of action figure. Meaning it's gonna feature less articulation, less paint application. The focus of these, I believe the intended audience is more so for kids rather than collectors. But at the same time, even though this is kind of more of a toy than a collectible, it does feature some cool little things if you are a collector. For example, it includes this nice display base that kind of emulates the championship belt. So it makes for a great display piece and also makes, for a great toy. All right, so I'm pretty excited about this. When I saw this 2-pack at my local Meijer store, something that I was a big fan of Hogan back in the 80s and also of Andre. I have fond memories of watching this event when it first happened years ago. My brother and I, we went to a friend's house. One of the neighborhood kids got the pay-per-view, so all of the neighborhood kids got together and we're just all hanging out in his living room watching WrestleMania 3. And the minute the main event started, we were all going like crazy, and I don't know, I just have such fond memories of this time period. And for me, I don't think there's any two more iconic wrestlers in the 80s from the WWF than Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan. So both these figures are figures we received previously. The Hulk Hogan is a sculpt we've seen numerous times over. One of the more recent iterations of that sculpt was this one here. This was from Mattel's WWE WrestleMania collection. It's essentially almost the same figure, except the upper torso is different because it has the shirt on it. And he also has the Hulkamania headband. But one thing that you'll notice is that there's a significant difference between the flesh tones. The 2-pack has the much more tanned Hulk Hogan, which is, when you think of Hulk Hogan looks like he's been like baking under like the sun for like ever, and this tan really kind of captures that. Whereas this one looks Hulk Hogan, like he didn't tan at all, so the flesh tone is very, very pale. But then again, this might be more accurate to a certain time period, because as you can see in the photo here, Hogan's not looking as tanned as he did like in the late 90s, when he looked like a hot dog. The cool feature with this figure too is that the headband is actually removable, and that's kind of reflected in this head sculpt here because it still retains the little slots in the forehead, or in the temples, where if you had the headband accessory, you could slot it into. You see the hole there, and then the hole on the other side. The Andre the Giant, this is something we've received previously also. I think this was a Target exclusive. This was also from WrestleMania 3. This is Andre the Giant, but it came with that ring cart that all the wrestlers were kind of towed into in the venue. So again, I believe these two figures are pretty much identical. There might be a difference in the head sculpt though, I think. Let me double check. No, yeah, they appear to be the same exact figure, which isn't a bad thing. I got this maybe like 2 years ago at Target, I think. It's really cool. You know, I dig how it comes with a little ring cart, fun accessory. On the back, we have the stats for the wrestlers. This is kind of cool. Like if you're into boxing or MMA, they always kind of have the versus screen, and it doesn't list their size or their weight, which is surprising. But it does give their point of origin. You know, Andre's from France, Hogan's Venice Beach, and they even list their finishers. You know, the double underhook suplex, and then Hogan's the leg drop. And then here's how to use the display base. Comes with like a little stand, and you mount it into the belt. And then you can just easily pose the wrestlers and have them just, you know, put them on display. Some other figures in Series 10 include Lashley versus The Miz and Omos versus AJ. I do have the Omos versus AJ set also, so be on the lookout for a review of this one right here. Alright, so we have the championship belt accessory. These are the two clips for the display base, and I'll go over that in a second. And then we have the display stands. And here we have Hogan and Andre. Looking fantastic. All right, so first let's talk about the stand. All right, so the display base, it kind of all right, let's get to focus. It kind of mimics the look of the World Championship during that time period, more specifically WrestleMania 3. It kind of has the plate in the middle, which is essentially just a sticker. As you can see, it's slightly peeling off towards the bottom. And you can mount the armatures in the different slots depending on how you want to pose the wrestlers. So each armature features this kind of like claw, and then you just piece them together. I'm not gonna plug it in completely because I'm gonna show off another feature of these also. So you can plug them in. But the cool thing is that the claw actually features 2 points of positioning. So you can either mount it like this, and then just have the wrestler be mounted standard like that. And of course, you could place this armature in any of the slots on the belt. So for example, you could have Hogan on one end, and then you could put Andre on the other. But also is that if you look at the claw, there's actually 2 slots. There's a slot here, which is the default slot, and then there's another slot on the top. And if you wanted to, you could mount it like this. And for example, say you had a wrestler that you wanted to like recreate like a drop kick or like maybe a splash pose. You know, you can easily just do that like that. It's silly, but at the same time, you know, if you really want to pose your wrestlers differently than just having them stand up and down, you know, you could do that. Or recreate, if you had like Rey Mysterio or something, you could like recreate like a flying pose. It's silly, but you know, the intention is there. So it's nice that they give you this option, you know, if you want to be creative and display your wrestlers in some sort of weird, wacky pose, you know, you have that option. And I think it's fun, you know, if you're a kid and you want to put your figures on display proudly, you know, at least you have a means to do it rather than just the usual like figure base. All right, let's take a look at the figures. First up, let's take a look at Terry Bollea, aka Hulk Hogan. Big Terry stands in at about, let's see here, a little under 7.25. The flesh tone, like I said, he is tanned. This is a very tan action figure. The sculpting is really well done. The likeness, it looks like the Hulkster. There's no argument there. He has his receding hairline, the thick mustache. His teeth are kind of gritted. It's kind of like he's in that stare down kind of pose. He has the trademark yellow on his tights, as well as his red knee pads. He has the longer boots. And it's a very tanned figure. It's so red that my camera has a hard time adjusting the white balance. In terms of the articulation, Hogan's head rotates like so. His arms are articulated. They can rotate. They can go outward. They do feature a bicep swivel right there, and also elbow articulation and wrist articulation. He can swivel at the waist. His legs kick up. His knees do bend, except these knees are really tight. I don't want to force it right now. And he has ankle articulation. So it's a very solid figure. For the price point for these championship 2-packs, I think it's great. I want to say they retail, I think, for maybe anywhere between $19 to $22, I think, depending on your location and where you buy it. But I think it's a steal. You get 2 action figures. If you have little ones, you give a figure to each child and they can go nuts with them. It comes with a fun display base, so I really do think the value is there. If you're a much more serious collector, these might turn you off just because the figures are very basic in their design. But then again, these are subcategorized as basic/core. These aren't on the same level as the Ultimate or the Elite Mattel action figures. But for the price point and for the their intent and purpose of what these are supposed to serve, I think these are a wonderful value. And if you're a wrestling fan, whether a child or adult, I think this is a great figure to add to your collection, especially it being the Hulkster. Up next, we have good old Andre. Now, this figure, I've always had an issue with it. Like, it's tall. Like, Andre's supposed to be big, and this one stands in at about over 8 inches. It's a big figure, but I think the proportions are kind of slightly off. Like, Andre has a giant head to begin with, but I think the head looks a little bit almost too large. The figure almost looks like a Mego action figure with its weird proportions. But I'm almost tempted to say I think this body's has been reused before, but I think for the Big Show. So maybe that's why it doesn't look right. Or the other way around. But besides that, the likeness is well done. It looks like Andre, especially during this time period. He's wearing the singlet with the one strap. He has the boots. For articulation, Andre's head rotates. Looks down, not too much. It's kind of squeaky too. I don't know what's going on there. I gotta take a look at this later. I'm not sure if the ball joint's broken on mine. Seems weird. It's kind of off. Arms rotate. They go outward. He has an pinless elbow bend, which is nice. Elbow swivel, articulated wrists. Swivel at the waist. Legs bend, knees bend. And then no ankle articulation, but the boot does feature a swivel. It's a great figure. I dig it a lot. If you're a fan of Andre, they're better options, but for this price point and for what you're getting, I think it's a great deal. So how do I rate this on a scale of 1 to 10 for this championship 2-pack? For me, it's an easy 9, solid 9. I love the fact that you get a display base. So, you have an option to display your figures if you're not playing with them. I do like the fact that this captures a very iconic WrestleMania moment. We have Hogan versus Andre, and matches don't come any bigger than that. And it's just really cool. I like the Hogan a lot. I think it's an improvement than the figure I showed you earlier, especially with the tan. The difference in the flesh tone is very evident here. So yeah, great action figures overall. I think it's well worth the purchase. All right, so let's wrap this up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning viewer subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. All right, later.